Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai looks familiar, even if you have never seen a frame of it. A ragtag band of outsiders coming together against all odds to topple an enemy or to protect the powerless. It is the blueprint for nearly every team-up cinema of the last 70 years. So why sit through a 207-minute black and white epic? People will point to the staging. They are not wrong. Kurosawa had an almost architectural sense of storytelling, making even the weather and landscape feel like living characters. Still, there's a reason Seven Samurai feels so vital. Modern blockbusters have spent decades sanitizing this trope into a single story about unity. But Kurosawa refuses to look away from the inherent distrust between the classes. The bandits are the common enemy, but a silent war is waged between the man holding the plow and the man holding the sword. Set in late 16th century Japan, Seven Samurai opens with farmers pushed to the brink. Taxes and famine weigh them down, but banditry threatens their survival. So the so-called peaceful class chooses violence. But since they lack the skill for it, they have to outsource it. The only currency the peasants can offer for this service is sustenance. Why does the samurai endure hunger and humiliation? Because what we think of as bushido, a rigid code of honor, discipline, and ritualized death, was largely a peacetime invention of the later Edo period. In 16th century reality, a ronin was just a man with a set of tools and no job. The near-mythic portrayals of the 47 ronin and 13 assassins are from a different era. Kanbei Shimada, the first samurai the farmers recruit, is already humbled by the world. He shaves his top knot, the ultimate symbol of his rank, and takes the robes of a monk to save a child. Shimada recognizes a debt to the living that outweighs his duty to his rank. The men who follow him are wildly different in skill and soul, yet they all share that same capacity. The samurai casually talk about their retreats. This lack of pretension defines them. So it's not just the hunger that makes them accept the farmer's plea. It's also the chance to be of use again. But don't mistake this for a bond of equals. The collision is purely functional. The samurai see a clumsy mass of people to be molded, and the farmers still see men they cannot fully trust, even as they depend on them. To understand how deep that distrust runs, look at the man following them. Kikuchiyo is initially framed as a comical figure. His broad, wild moments and the way he wears the oversized odachi contrast with the economy of movement shown by other samurai. He's ridiculed for lying about his lineage. Even so, he understands what lies beneath the fragile respect between the two classes. The distrustful farmers hide their women, fearing the samurai might covet them as the bandits do. One father cuts his daughter's hair to pass her off as a boy. So, when the villagers hesitate to welcome the samurai, Kikuchiyo knows how to draw them out with a false alarm. He knows the villagers see samurai as the lesser of two evils. Later, when the samurai discover that the farmers have killed and stripped retreating warriors in the past, their disgust reframes the farmers as something more than innocent victims. At that moment, Kikuchiyo intervenes with a thunderous monologue, first condemning the farmers before turning on the samurai and forcing them to confront the conditions that produce such behavior. It's hinted more than once that Kikuchiyo belongs to the peasant class. He speaks to the farmers in a language of easy humor. He is the connective tissue between the classes, the jagged triangle on the unit's banner that finally allows the 6 circles representing the samurai to mesh with the village. Rice shapes every interaction in this world. You see it when Katsushiro gives his portion to Shino, who passes it on to an old woman. Hollowed out by cycles of suffering, the old woman is visited by the samurai with a bowl of rice. They also offer rice balls to the village children. These aren't just acts of kindness, but moments when the hierarchy gives way as the samurai acknowledge the villagers' grim reality. However, Kikuchiyo's anger, Katsushiro's love, and the weight of a rice bowl aren't enough. Filling a stomach is only the beginning. To merge the peasant's cunning with the samurai's strategy, a more profound shift is required. A stern-faced Shimada begins to prepare them for it. The community becomes a wellspring of life as everyone prepares for the impending war. The farmers harvest their crops and are ready to function as a protective wall with their bamboo poles. Even then, 2 events showcase how the weight of the past imposes upon the newfound solidarity. When a bandit scout is captured, the samurai see a prisoner of war, but the farmers see a target for their collective wrath. During the raid on the bandit fort, the discovery of his abducted, broken wife forces Rikichi to face his trauma. In the chaos, Heihachi is killed, signaling the loss of a treasure they needed for the harder times. Still, Heihachi's creation galvanizes the group in their moment of despair, and we get this priceless shot of the entire group on the hill. The battle itself is defined by strategy and working together, not individual skills. Shimada's strategy is one of cold attrition. He allows a few horsemen to enter the village before blocking the entry with a wall of spears. This turns the village into a funnel where the farmers and samurai can swarm and kill. None of the bandits is fully established as an individual. They mostly remain as a reckless, destructive force. While Shimada preaches unity as the only answer to displace this force, there's one exceptional moment. Kyuzo goes alone into the enemy camp and casually returns with a musket. The actual capture occurs off-screen, but we've already seen him fell opponents with a single stroke, so we share Katsushiro's worshipful amazement. Kyuzo's daring quest didn't impact the defense structure, but when Kikuchiyo does the same by abandoning his post, Shimada condemns him. Samurai aren't meant to be heroes, but vital components to maintain the integrity of the Union. As the battlefield chaos deepens, the social experiment transforms the villagers. Rikichi chases down and kills the fleeing bandits. The timid Yohei dies bravely on his watch. Finally, the wounded yet fierce Kikuchiyo slays the bandit leader, and this samurai of peasant origin dies facing the muddy earth. They have won. But who does this victory belong to? With the bandits gone, the peasants no longer need the warriors. Shino rushes past Katsushiro, averting his eyes. Their romantic alliance, consummated in the heat of the battle, is now lost amidst the reappeared class divisions. The showdown in the rain becomes the film's clearest image of class unity. Covered in mud, they fought as one to defend the village, swords and spears cutting through the enemy. The samurai are now positioned alongside their fallen comrades. The farmers are singing and planting rice, their eyes fixed on the harvest. The silent war of the classes comes to an end. The plow reclaims the earth. The sword becomes the headstone.